Hey, friends, ladies, gentlemen, welcome. If you guys love to travel, you are in the right place. You see, meeting the right people. If you love to meet people, learn something new, you are in the right place. If you love to explore places, get to know the world better, you are in the great place. So I'm going to be introducing you to you, my classmate, friend, writer, speaker, erudite scholar, all rolled in one, right? Virupakshan Kumaraswamy. He has captured his journey and traveled throughout the world in different parts of the countries, in different countries. So we'll talk about those. I'll let him introduce himself, and then we'll go from there. Kumar, the stage is
Yeah,
yours.
thanks, Gopi, for that short but very, laudatory introduction. It was maybe a little more than perhaps one would have wished. So, just to give me a brief, I work for a paper company, and that takes me to some places around the world in search of resources. And plus, I have also developed some taste for traveling in the last about 25 years, which is much more than what I've worked for this company. And during my travels, I keep recording my conversations or meetings and observations about places, etc., the culture, and I keep putting it in the Facebook or other blogs or WhatsApp groups. And I thought during the pandemic I should, put it in the form of a book. Recently, it has been published. Gopi, if you allow me to show me the book, this is the book.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll definitely talk more about this. Absolutely.
Weird Adventures and Uncommon Lessons. And as Gopi said, if you are a fellow traveler in uh, sharing your experiences, I am all with you. That's
Perfect.
it from me, Gopi. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So, friends, right? You might be asking, what is this topic about? You might have figured, it's about travel, right? But again, why travel? There are so many other topics to discuss. Kaniyan Pookundana, right? A Tamil astrologer, philosopher, writer, poet, right? Several centuries back, I think, first century AD or even before, we don't know. He said, this Yadum Ure Yavarum Keli, right? Which basically means the world is ours, all the people are our friends, relations. And to kind of give you a better context too, right? One of the Japanese proverbs, it says, if you love your son, let him travel. So Kumar Swami's father, right? He loves Kumar. He let him travel. So Kumar has traveled and he's doing the same to others as well, right? And the other, great proverb that really caught my attention and made me kind of brought tears was, it says, I think it was Saint Augustine. He says, the world is a book and those who do not travel read only a page. Isn't that something amazing? So I love to travel as well. So I think I'm meeting a likewise person so we can share some ideas. But today I really want Kumar to talk about, his book, and more about his experiences and how it got translated to his book. The intent here is not to sell the book, okay? It's just a byproduct, but for you guys to kind of, gain knowledge, appreciate, what has happened in the background, and then go get to, read the book as well, okay? So we'll keep it very conversational, Kumar. I'll ask you a few questions. You take your time, we'll try to keep the entire video 5, 7, less than 10 minutes, if you will, right?
Okay.
And make it happen, okay? So the first question I have is, you travel, you have traveled to multiple continents, multiple countries, multiple cities and all that. So what was the motivation? Typically, right, people kind of say education, fun, business, vacation. It's all yours, Kumar.
Primary motivation to travel, developed. Maybe I'm sun sign wise, I am Gemini, so very sign. So maybe that takes me all over the place. But I think the urge to see more and more places started right from when I started my professional career. And over a period of time, it snowballed. And as and when the opportunities for business travel increase, during business travel, what happens is you fix all these meetings, and meetings get over in time. After 6 o'clock, you don't know what to do. So there you tend to see more places, experience more cultural aspects, or about various places. As I do, I keep chatting up people to find out what is their culture, etc. And once it's a longish kind of tour, 2 days, 3 days or something, you stay over, go to the nearby country, or stay over in that country, go to nearby places. And that's how it snowballed. And after 2003 or 4, some, professional groups, sponsored groups, and travel with my batchmates at either college or at my professional college, IAM. All this has become a regular routine. So that's the basic interest in travel. And of course, it's become a habit, passion, or whatever you call it by now. And I enjoy writing about those experiences. And there has been a very good reception, I must say, from the readers. And that has kept it hooked on.
Awesome. I also heard in the news, that you already have booked a ticket to the moon, and the next plan is to go to Mars.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
I would
some
have
more,
loved it if there are some more people already there. I would have loved to interview them.
I'm sure there is a tea shop over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to know, Kumar. I mean, this is not something that happened with the flick of a switch. It
Sure,
happened
yeah.
from early on. You gradually progressed. That's great to know.
Sure, yeah.
So, with all these travels that you have done, right? What were, or maybe the top two most moving, memorable experiences?
So actually memorable, of course, this book has many dimensions. It explores many dimensions, not just single dimensions. So obviously there are 2 or 3 flanks on which I have to tell you what is the most moving experience. If you ask me emotionally, what moved me most was my travel to this blind school in Gurugram, what is now called Gurugram. That shook me up of my beliefs about them, my misconceptions about them. And you should read that piece in the book. That was one moving experience. And if you ask me, we generally get to know about a place's history or the news, etc., through the news medium, or now social media, the history books. The amount of distortions that is there, that started hitting me after the first trip to Myanmar, Vietnam, Syria, all supposedly troubled countries or communist countries where you're supposed to be suppressed and there's no freedom of speech, movement, and all those kinds of things. And of course, the real eye opener was our own Commonwealth Games. What all negative was spewed on the games, and how magnificent it turned out to be, the opening ceremony. Now, last 5 years, I've been living in that colony, beautiful colony, and all that muck which was thrown at them is all 98% untrue, that kind of stuff. And in terms of personal impact on me, I would think that the mugging which I went through is the most personally, what should I say, educative, I must say. I would
You
have
say
taken maybe about
mugging?
mugging, yes, mugging
Oh my
in
God! Huh?
Shanghai.
Yeah, tell more
And
about it.
yeah, in fact, it was a mugging incident after all, and I would still remain thankful to them, because if I had to vicariously learn all those lessons, it would take me 10, 12 years of reading books and talking to various people. It's almost like, God decided, buddy, that's not the way to learn about mugging. And, the best thing is you go through experience yourself, then you will learn everything. Till today, I maintain that they taught me in about 25, 27 minutes what I would have taken 10 years to learn, and very effective way. And the next time I meet them, I'll only thank them and maybe throw them a free dinner kind of stuff. It was very, very experience-wise, it was good, and it made me reassess myself, question many of the assumptions, and I'm living in with, and what is the purpose of life, etc. And all this compressed period.
Wow.
Fantastic experience.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, who are watching and listening to this video, right? This might be another motivation to get to read the book, because the style of Kumar's writing, I like it a lot. It's very natural. It's not high flying, bombastic, but he tries to bring out the emotions, in what he writes. So you guys should, get a chance to read the book. Yeah, you'll love it. So related to what you just said, right? You talked about the moving emotional experience. What were the major takeaways, from the? So there is always good and bad. Good things happen, bad things happen. But I truly believe, the world has more good things to offer than bad things. So life moves on. We all get excited. We stay excited, right? So what were
Sure.
the takeaways, lessons learned?
See, one thing we should respect is what you said. There are more positives happening in the world than generally believed to be or reported. I would say 98% is positives, but media has to focus on negatives because that's what sells. Exception sells. This is the famous management concept: management by exception, the whatever. Unfortunately,
Exception
what has
rule.
happened is that a lot of venom and poison also has got mixed with negative news. Negative news can be presented, but up to a point, to attract attention of the administrators or for setting it right. But I think the world has gone a little too far. Secondly, anybody on the earth, whether it's a taxi driver, policeman, politician, minister, MLA, ordinary student, a victim or a criminal, including those inside the jail, they have a story to tell. This story is as good as anything that is hiding behind a Jeffrey Archer or Sidney Sheldon or anybody.
I agree.
If you approach the subject with humility, with intent to understand him, not to ridicule, not to be evaluative, not to be judgmental, he will come out. And that is proven time and again with my conversations with taxi drivers. Every time I get into a paid taxi, there is a story, and a beautiful story. You have to tickle him, and he will, pour out his life story. Many of them inspirational, where they were and where they are, inspirational. What they do to the family, inspirational. So, it is my passion and interest to know about the other guy. It's not even to write a book or write a blog or something. Some of them turn out to be, good enough for sharing with others, but many of them don't. Also, I just, carry on the conversation, leave it like that. So that has been one learning experience that it is, and as well as the places also. Quite often, what is reported in a hurry, and if they have to investigate and report, it will take a week or 10 days. But news has to hit the next day morning's papers. So there is a rush, and there is always this added negativity. So if you go to the source and talk to some people, you will get to know the real truth, motivations, what is behind it, and what is the truth and what is the untruth. And that gives you a completely different perspective of things. These are some of these takeaways.
Couldn't agree
But
more, Kumar. That's beautiful. I mean, like you said, right? We have to approach people, events in life, the world at large, with humility. And when we deal with people, right, at the end of the day, it's the people who make things happen. I think I said this earlier, right?
yeah,
And it shouldn't be condescending as well, So
sure,
it's a judicious mix. Keep it natural.
yeah,
So on to our next question, right?
yeah,
I mean, I know we are trying to keep it conversational. You're welcome to ask me questions too. Um,
no problem.
so you went to a lot of places, right? What was the logic in picking those places to visit? Obviously, if it's a business trip, you don't have a choice. But when you're going with your friends, with family, vacationing, what's the logic?
See, actually, I have not applied my thoughts, so to say, on what countries to visit. And you tend to feel, this is the flavor of the season. Many of the people are advertising, newspapers are advertising, or Animal Kingdom. I have not seen so much yet. I have to go there. Or Egypt is one country which is being talked about. I go there. Syria, which is in turmoil now. I thought, before it completely breaks up, I should go and visit. My brother was ambassador there, so he facilitated the whole thing. And it evolves. I wouldn't say, or when you are on a business trip, the next nearest country to which you will get visa is the added attraction, that kind of stuff. It's more about places, people and their cultures rather than places. And so there's no specific logic I would give to it. And of course, this sponsored trips where you're invited to join a group or some such thing is completely out of control. And of course, in the friends group, we sit and decide. We about 6, 7 of us from the college. We keep visiting different country every maybe 2 or 3 years. That perhaps is decided by who's staying where, who is willing to host, or commonly decide some other place to go to, that kind of stuff. Of course, right now the attractions are these animal kingdoms. In fact, I tend to believe now animals are much more socially organized, much better organized than humankind. And oh yeah, that's right. And they can easily run an MBA for us. And that will be more effective for our coordination, teamwork, working between societies, between different groups, culture, race, all this. So that's my this one. So maybe the next trip will be somewhere there. And maybe the next bucket list is maybe Austria and Greece. And of course, I plan to go to Shillong also in September as a part of this IAM group. So these are in my bucket list for travel.
Nice, nice. So, not to put you on spot, right? Which places would you want to go again and again because you are either emotionally attracted or it's a more natural place? We all eat different kinds of food, right? There's
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah.
some favorite food. So,
Sure.
what's your favorite places?
Favorite place, if you ask me, I would say Vietnam and Myanmar. And can freely roam around anywhere at any point of time. Nobody will limit. Security wise, very very high. No eve teasing, no that kind of stuff. Basically, human beings are treated very well as this one. The administration doesn't breathe down your neck. Myanmar last about 15 days, 20 days. What has happened? You please leave it aside. But as a society, I'm talking about. Next place I would think I should go to is maybe Serengeti I have done, Kruger I have done, but I would like to go to maybe Masai Para. The
Yeah,
other
I would love
place
to
I'm
join.
comfortable with, please, I think it will be a fantastic experience. Next place I am comfortable with is Netherlands. And 2, 3 years back, if you had asked me, Estonia and Finland, because Finland is one place where I know enough number of people in Helsinki that if I get lost at 12 midnight also, I wouldn't really bother. I'll be able to get somebody to come and rescue me, kind of stuff. So these are few places where I'd like to keep going back. But if you ask me about people, how good they are in terms of how friendly they are, Syria is one place where I will go to. Some of the most beautiful looking people, beautiful behaving people. So and Oman is a paradise on earth.
Wow. It's great to know. Great to know. I've been blessed too, right? Where I live, I get to, this is like a melting pot country. I get to meet people from all different countries, cultures, races, and, meeting people, learning from them, seeing places, nothing to beat it. It's so beautiful. So just, we were wrapping up, right? A couple of more questions. What would be your advice to people, who are aspiring to travel, who see this video, uh, and then they get excited. People love to travel. It could be next street,
Yeah.
next door, next state, next country, right? So give
Yeah.
some advice.
Couple of things is, I read up a lot before I go to your place, but right now it is only to know the topography. Because I've found through travel that cultures, etc., what is recorded in books and newspapers, etc., is highly distortive, exaggerated, biased towards the negative or not, especially if one country's person is writing about the other country, you can imagine. So in fact, this is one of the, I shouldn't say negative, but maybe positive. After my travels, I have placed experiences as the main source of inputs to me for learning. I have stopped reading books on history, sociology, all this kind of thing. It doesn't serve any purpose, in my opinion. And one or two conversations with the people there teaches me, although, almost whatever I would have read otherwise. In terms of this one, go with a non-evaluative mind and pick up conversation with random people. Not that all people will oblige. Some people will oblige. Some people will, many people are willing to share their story. So you will come across those people who are willing to share the story. And if you want to record it also, just let it pass for about 48 hours, but record it within about 7 days or something. So that's when all the fizz, etc., would have gone out. You won't get into too many details, but you wouldn't have forgotten vital details either if you record it in the third, fourth, or fifth day. That's one good this one. So the other one is if you want to write very simple language. Don't try to complicate things. In fact, I keep telling various groups, my biggest strength is my weakness, actually. I have my breadth of vocabulary and language diction is not that great. So what I'm forced to do by for
So I know you spoke
course
about
of,
humility before.
it's not humility. I'm exposing my weaknesses. So what I do is I just keep recording exactly the way I have seen it. But other people have interpreted this way that many people, in fact, even in this book, at least 10 people have called me to say that you take us to the place where of each and every experience. It's almost like I'm there at the scene of action. Probably narrating the experience exactly as it happened in the same sequence without any much masala, I think creates that kind of effect, I think. So you can also try it out. Maybe you will have much better expression, vocabulary, diction, etc. You can create more out of it than me, but that's what has worked for me.
True, absolutely. Writing and reading things, right, is being able to bring that picturization to people virtually. They can see the forest, hills, whatever, right? So great. So you just, one more question, and then we can keep it like open to. What's your plan for the next, say, 2 years, 5 years in terms of travel?
Travel, as I said, I want to go to some more places within India. I have explored quite a bit of India. I've been to Naxalite areas. I've been to, game parks. I've been to interior where poverty one can see at the, the very basic levels, and have been to number 2 and number 3 poorest regions in India, all those kinds of things. I would like to do more of it to understand their perspectives in life. And I've seen quite a bit of politicians, but I would like to keep that linkage on to visit more and more politicians. As far as overseas countries are concerned, if I get a chance to go to Pakistan, I would like to go there. Afghanistan, yes. Plus, of course, leisure travel, Greece and Jordan, etc. In terms of one experiential thing which I want to do is Tihar jail. I want to spend about 2 or 3 days inside the cell and see how those people will feel, why it gets them there, how do they feel over a period of time. If there is a honorable way to get there, that's what I would like, and I wouldn't like to definitely do any unhonorable or dishonorable thing to get there. But that's one thing which will really interest me. So these are the few kinds of things which is in the bucket list. Let's see how it pans out. And can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What motivated you for this interview? I know we are friends, so you're also keeping reading my posts.
I mean, the motivation again is getting to know people, right? I mean, I'm likewise, right? If somebody wants to punish me, right, you don't have to throw me in a jail. You don't have to waterboard me. Just put in a place where I cannot see people. I'll naturally die. So I'm a very, I think it was Aristotle or somebody who said, I'm a social animal, I love people, right? And then, to boot, right, when you said, hey, it's about travel, that motivated me more too. By the way, guys who are watching this video, Kumar Swami, Kumar as we all call him, right, affectionately, he's written a book on economics too. And that's like way above my head, So, but he's not just like, he's fun and more. So just watch out, there's a lot to learn from him.
In fact, Gopi, I'm a 3 times first author. My first book was a technical book on insurance.
Wow.
Second was in economics, what people call pop economics, but very serious subject. And third, of course, is this travel book. And maybe travel is the one which will last, I think, for the rest of my life.
Nice, nice. See, this is one thing I can learn from you, because I write a lot. I love to write. I write poems and, blogs. But it's all, I kind of keep it to myself or keep it within the business. I haven't made it public. But that's a great motive, because writing a book, guys, as you know, it's much more than writing an exam. It's much more than writing a white paper. It requires tremendous commitment, patience, sustained interest, if you will. Only then you can make it happen. So, any other key takeaways, Kumar, before we wrap up?
No, I think it's wonderful, Gopi. Thanks for your initiative. I never thought of it like this. And all your viewers, best of luck. And if you manage to read my book, if you can also get hooked on to that kind of habit, it will be great. Otherwise, you can post. Otherwise, also you can post some comments of yours directly to me or through Gopi or in Amazon, whichever way you want. But I tell you, it's a very, very satisfying thing. It's a very, very enjoyable kind of stuff. And you look at no days or nights, tiredness or otherwise. If you love meeting people, conversing with them, understanding the story, it's fantastic. Enjoy it.
Awesome. So, guys, wrapping up, right? I'll give the links, the picture. I'll put a slide towards the end of this video. Take a look, and like you said, go to Amazon, go to places, bookstore, and then try to get the book. Put your comments on. We will try to bring in some more videos as well on some other interesting topics. And we'll keep this moving, guys. Thanks for joining. Again, what Kumar said, don't forget, when you travel, keep an open mind, be humble, show empathy. It's all rolled in one. Okay, guys. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.